This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This is a Place podcast. My name is Brandon, and I'm joined by a man who likes to get low prices. Nate.
All for prices that are lower than low. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
It is. It's fresh for everyone. It's fresh for you. It's fresh for them. It's fresh
Freshness
for
guaranteed.
me. I think one day after watching one of those commercials, my son Bronco says something like, "Is their food really fresh?" Sure. When I hear that song, my mind goes to the Kevin James movie where he's the zoo one.
Oh, the zoo one.
Yeah, him and the gorilla are like jamming to that song. Zookeeper, I think that's what it's called. Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds like the most Kevin James movie ever.
Yes, very much so.
Him and a gorilla jamming too low by Flow Rider.
I mean, I believe the animals could talk or something like that. And he,
Of
or at
course they
yeah.
could.
Of course. Yeah.
Nothing beats Mall Cop though.
No, nothing does. But
Nothing like peanut butter to fill the cracks of the heart.
go away, pain. I love that. No, I'm not going to want any pie. Just kidding. I want it now. Get it now.
So Nate, let's talk about Smiths. This is all you, man. You are the one that likes to get the low prices.
I love Smith's. I feel out of all the local grocery stores, I get the best deals consistently at Smith's. For example, today, played some pickleball this morning and this afternoon. But on the way home from pickleball, I stopped by Smith's and we'll play What Did Nate Pay?
I'm totally on board with this new segment that you're introducing. What did Nate pay? I like
Well,
it.
and I think seriously, we should do this like every week. I'll have like my deal of the week, and then
Your deal.
either you can guess who paid what I paid, or that we could have like our listeners. Yeah, we need at least one listener to post on social media what the price is, and then we give away like a prize.
We could give away like a digital copy of Spider-Man No Way Home.
But something like that, or what's the other one called?
Morbius?
Did you hear that guy watched No Way Home like 700 times or something like that? Broke
I
a
did hear
world
that.
record. Did you hear he also broke a record for Morbius?
He did?
Yeah, he watched it twice.
Very funny. I still haven't seen it. I did see Batman though. And I liked Batman. I thought it was pretty good.
It's all right.
No Christopher
Right?
Nolan.
It wasn't. It's gonna be hard to top The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's play What Did Nate Pay? Wah, 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 wah.
It's an air horn.
You two, look up here. Do you even get that reference? Have you seen that movie?
What did you say?
Do I need to add another movie to your list?
Uh-oh.
You
is
two, look up here. Look up here.
Since
Caca, caca. You do. No? Three Amigos? You've never seen Three Amigos? Oh, wow. That's like saying you've never seen Dumb and Dumber.
I'll try and watch it before Cinco de Mayo next week. Maybe we can talk about it on the next episode.
That's actually a great idea. I don't know if I have Three Amigos on DVD or not, but that's a good Cinco de Mayo movie. I'll put
Okay,
that on the
anyways,
list.
get to the deals, Nate.
All right.
The people are here for the deals.
Once again, we are What Did Nate Pay? So it was a dozen red velvet cake cookies, but I got 2 of them, so 2 dozens.
The Chips Ahoy?
2 dozen. No, like in the bakery section.
Okay. Bakery.
So like the better quality cookies. And then same thing in the bakery section, 1 dozen chocolate chip cookies. Like it's a chocolate. In the bakery section again, 4 blueberry muffins, 4 chocolate muffins, and get this, 4 gallons of chocolate milk. How much did Nate pay? How many guesses do you get?
3.
Or should we play like on Price is Right, where you name a price and I say high or low, and you got like 30 seconds?
Okay. I'm
Just
gonna
kidding.
say $20,
Lower,
$15,
lower,
$5,
higher,
$7.75,
lower.
$6.
$6.
$6 for all that?
$6 for all that crap today.
Okay, how?
Well, like any store I go to, I usually what I do it's called the clearance walk, and I go to the section of the store that has the clearance. And this particular Smith's, I'm hesitant to even like give out the location because I don't want people to know about it. But this one, they do really good clearance, and they usually
Just
do
tell
clearance.
me and I'll beep it out.
But anyways, in the back by the bakery, it's usually in the back of the bakery, kind of near like the meat section. In some stores, sometimes it's near the dairy. We'll have like a cart full of like clearance section stuff, like bakery goods. But yeah, this one does really good. I think if you go to this location, most Smiths, they do it like in the morning. So it's great because I play pickleball from like 6 to 8, and then I'll hit like a Smiths on the way home. They just put a bunch of stuff out in clearance. And it's stuff that's probably technically sell by date. It's like a day or two away. But yeah, they just put a whole bunch of stuff out. So, and for some reason, this particular Smiths will clearance out their milk like a week or two before the sell by date. They've been, I don't know, like I get like gallons of milk for like 25 cents. And today it was chocolate milk. So I was like, heck yeah, we's going to get us some chocolate milk.
And all the chocolate milk cost you $1.
It was 25 cents a gallon. And they don't expire. Today is April 26th. And these don't expire till May 6th. Well, sell by date. So I mean, like, yeah, I was like, okay. Like if I didn't have my freezer full of cats and dogs, I would have bought even more. That joke only makes sense if you listen to the American Fork. What do they call it? American Fork podcast when we were on there. So go listen to that one and you'll understand that joke a little bit better. But yeah, they do stuff like that all the time. And outside of that, Smiths has their app, their digital app that has digital coupons on it. So it's not always necessary the clearance stuff. You can get other stuff on sale. And I like the fact they do have the digital coupons because you don't have to worry about going through the Sunday paper and clipping coupons. You can just do it in the app and then it automatically takes it off for you. So a lot of the items they have, like they have a good sell on an item, you can use like that coupon up to 5 times. So say they have like a box of cereal for $1, you can get 5 boxes. So it's a place that we go to stockpile stuff when we can. And so you get a good deal there. But one of the main reasons I wanted to do this episode that kind of came to mind is because the gas prices are a little bit out of control right now, wouldn't you say?
I have noticed. I don't drive anywhere.
You haven't noticed? Yeah, it's true. You ride your bike everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but gas prices are a little bit out of control right now. So one thing I love about Smiths is they have a gas rewards program. So basically $1 equals 1 point. And once you have 100 points, you get 10 cents off a gallon and you can go up to $1 off. So up to 1,000 points, you get $1 off a gallon of gas. And you can get up to 35 gallons per transaction or whatever. And the cool thing now, they just started doing, they've done it before, but they're doing it again, where say you have 800 points, so you can get 80 cents off a gallon of gas. If you go to Smith's, you can choose if you want to use the full 80 cents or 10 cents, 30, whatever you want to use. You don't have to use all your points at once. But if you accumulate your points this month, like during April, then your points from you earned in April expire at the end of May. So you only basically have 30 days to use your points. But here's the trick. And the Gephardt actually did an episode or a segment a couple of weeks ago on this, something I've been doing for, I don't know how long, probably at least 10 years. But Smith's sells gift cards, and they're usually pretty generous with their points when you use gift cards. For example, at any given day, minimum you get double points. So if you buy a $25 gift card, you get 50 points in fuel rewards. So if you buy a $50 gift card, then you're getting a 10 cents off a gallon.
What's the max you can get?
You can get as many points as you want. The only problem is that they expire the following month that you earn them in. So if you had like 10,000 points, you would have to use those 10,000 points by the end of the following month.
But I guess my question is, if you created some kind of a Nate's Gas program.
Well, I've heard employees
at a certain level.
I don't think they have a cap on how many points you can earn. They used to when they first started their program years ago. I believe they gave you like up to 90 days to use those points. Like it took a while, but they weren't as generous with giving out the points either. But I know I heard of an employee saying that they have a customer who comes in, they buy a lot of stuff for like their restaurant or something like that. So they buy tons and tons of food and get tons and tons of points. So they just told the employee, like, here's my ID number, just go and use, $1 off whenever you need it, because they just have so many. They didn't really need the points. So I don't think there's a cap because they obviously want you to spend the money. I try to get around 3,000 points a month because that's about how often I fill up in a month, 3 times. And I use the full 35 gallons. I have gas cans. I go in my truck, and you can get on, I think it's called Salt Lake City gas prices. And there's also an app called Gas Buddy that you can hop on.
I've used Gas Buddy.
Yeah. And it will tell you, so you can filter it to show you. So your points work at Shell's gas station and Smith's. So you can get on Gas Buddy or Salt Lake City gas prices and filter it to Smith's and Shell and see who has the cheapest gas or the Smith's nearby. Because most of us live by at least 2 Smith's location, right? Within a few miles of our house. I think we have like 3 or 4 within a couple miles of where we live. But going back to the gift card, so any given day, you get at least double the points. And it seems like at least once a month, they'll have like a few days where you get 4 times the points. So that's great. So for example, say you buy $100 on Amazon every month, you spend $100, go to Smith's, buy on that, especially the 4 times the cube or the 4 times the point day, buy a $100 gift card to Amazon, and you just earn 40 cents off a gallon. And you haven't spent any more money than you normally would have spent. You've saved money. So that's kind of what Gephardt was getting at in his little thing. This guy was buying, he needed to buy a record player at Best Buy or something. I don't know, one of the websites. He's like, so I went to Smith's and I saw the 4 times the coupon or the points. And so I bought whatever I was going to pay on that website, and I got 40 cents off a gallon or something like that. And I'm like, dude, I've been doing that forever. So anyways, so like I said, I fill up my gas cans, the 35 gallons, and then it's pretty funny because I have like a little funnel, fill up my cars at home until I use all the 35 gallons, and I go refill it up whenever I run out.
That's right. You have to use it like right in the moment. You can't come back and say,
no, you get 35 gallons. So once you say you're going to use your points, you get up to 35 gallons, but then you lose those points, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I'm going to max it out. I'm using the whole 35.
Just take both cars together and then just.
I've done that too, where you've taken both cars and you park one right across from the other, so you can hurry run and throw it into the other car. But I just found it was easier just to fill up the gas cans and just take the truck and fill them up. I mean, it's kind of annoying.
Lots of tips today.
Lots of tips. So that's like something you'd see on that show, Cheapskates, filling up but when I first started doing it, I had so many people driving by the neighborhood saying like, is everything okay? Because they see me like filling up my car with a gas can, like I ran out of gas in my driveway. Like, nope, everything's good.
I'm just frugal. Because we don't say cheap, we say frugal.
Frugal. Yeah. To me, it's funny because Brandon and I love to talk about our finances and sex life all the time. The two biggest subjects everybody talks about. But like, I feel like my family, we've been pretty blessed. Like we're not, starving by any means, as you can tell by my belly. But
You're not. Your family might be starving.
my family is because I won't let them spend any money.
You eat all the food.
I eat all the food and then I don't let them spend any money. But it's always been like almost a game for me, like to see how much I can save. It's just, but when you really think about it too, like people play the stock market or they try to or they go gamble. But
This is just your form of gambling.
it's, yeah, well, what's, you know, if I'm filling up my tank and it costs $100 for the 35 gallons and I save $35, that's like 35% return on my money, right? For not really doing anything super different.
Yeah.
So I like the whole game of like moving your money and make your money work for you. So it takes a little bit of effort, but it's not a whole lot. But like I said, it becomes a game. And I know might be a little annoying for my wife sometimes because it's just fun to try to see how many cool things you can do on date night without spending a whole lot of money. So, like I said, we might need to make a whole new podcast called What Did Nate Pay? Or What Nate's Deals. I don't know.
Doesn't need
it's
to be
just fun.
We're just doing it on this podcast.
But I'll tell you what, man, sometimes I almost start sweating if I see like an awesome deal at any store. But I know I shouldn't buy it. So sometimes I just buy stuff just because it's an awesome deal. Not because I need it, just because it's an awesome deal. It's so hard not to buy. Like today, for example, the chocolate milk. I mean, if I had space in my fridge, like 4 gallons was like max. I think they had a few more gallons. I would have bought them all just because of the deal.
Bring me some chocolate milk, Nate.
You know what? I should have.
I
knew I was going to see you today. But dang it, fiddlesticks. But going back to the gift cards, another little secret. If you download the app and you have the app at least once or twice a month, they'll have certain gift cards, but usually they're decent gift cards. Like for example, today they had one for Arby's, Taco Bell, and Texas Roadhouse were the 3 that I bought today. So for the Taco Bell one, if you buy it, it's only a $15 gift card. You got an extra bonus, 200 bonus points. So you get the double the points. So basically that gift card gave me like 230 points. And then I got a $15 Arby's gift card. And that one, for some reason, gave me an extra 400 bonus fuel points. And then the third one I bought was a Texas Roadhouse that gave me another 200 bonus points plus the 25 times 2. So it was 250 bonus points. So I got roughly 800 bonus points and only spent, how much would that be? $55. And you get 80 cents off a gallon. And 80 cents off a gallon would be, if you use the full 35, $28. So then in reality, the gift cards only cost me, if you minus the 35 gallons, I would use $27 for $55 worth of gift cards, if that makes any sense.
You think about all this stuff way more than I do.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just, like I told you, it's a game. It's probably borderline illness, just a little bit of effort. But if you don't want to go to that extreme, so my tip would be download the app, and then look at the gift card deals they have going on. If there's any gift cards that you think you're going to use or you will use in the future, and they have the bonus points, buy those. And then if you're, like I said, if you're big on Amazon or use Amazon a lot, I would highly suggest whenever they do their 4 times the points is go and buy whatever you think you're going to spend over the next month or 2 in Amazon and get some free reward points, get some discounted fuel.
I'll be honest, it's kind of exhausting to hear what you go through to get the deals. For me, at least.
Exhausting?
Exhausting in that just how much... How do I put this into words? It's just exhausting of how much effort you put into it. I mean, I know for you, it's not like a lot of effort because it's just It's just what you do. But for me, thinking about if I turned into looking for the deals and browsing the clearance sections, whatever, it's overwhelming for me to think about starting.
Right. Like I don't think anybody has to go to that route. And I don't, part of me doesn't want you to. I don't want people to because then they're going to take all the deals from me. But like there was a show called, I think it was Extreme Couponing, and he had Extreme Cheapskate too, right? But Extreme Couponing was like crazy. And there's still people, and I think there's still some YouTube channel stuff that do it. But these people like will get like 50 Sunday newspapers and clip these coupons, and then they go to the store and they just pay next to nothing. But I feel like they spend at least a part-time job worth of hours putting all those coupons and crap together to where I'm just like, you know what, you could go get a part-time job and have
So
less
give that
stress.
money. Yeah.
And have less stress and get the same net income or a net whatever bottom line.
How many hours do you think you put into the deal hunting per week?
Deal hunting, like
And
the
this
Smiths
includes
app, going back
you
to
going
Smiths, and that's why it's so great, is like it's something you can do on your toilet when you're going to the potty. Is like you pull out, everybody has their phone. I mean, everybody says they don't, but everybody does. Everybody uses their phone in the potty.
I read books, man.
And I clean my phone every time we go to Vasa with the free wipes they have there. So at least a few times a week my phone gets cleaned. But like I said, with the digital app, it's like super easy. There's even, I don't use them anymore. But anyways, going back to the Extreme Couponing, I thought, okay, this would be fun. I want to see how well I could do at it. And so I think we ordered a couple Sunday newspapers, and then I'd go, there's a couple, I think there was one called like Grocery Smarts, where they'll break down like all the best deals at the grocery stores. And I want to say there was a Utah coupon lady or something like that would show you all the coupons to use for the best deals. That got exhausting because it, like I said, it becomes like
It's
a
like a
part-time job. You
part-time
got to
job,
clip
yeah.
the coupons, and then you got to hope that the store has that item in stock. So I don't go to that extreme anymore because, like I said, it was just exhausting. I use the Smith's digital coupon stuff. A couple of the other places have like the text message stuff, or even Macy's has kind of copied a little bit of the Smith's digital stuff. But yeah, I just use the app, browse through it when I'm going potty, so I'm multitasking. And then you can do a search bar too. So I just do the search bar for the gift cards. Gift cards are usually what I do the most if at Smith's now because of how easy and simple that is, and relatively cheap because you get all those bonus points when you hit the right coupon. So I don't spend a whole lot of time. But I do, like if I had to go to Smith's to get a gallon of milk, I will do my clearance walk to see if there's anything. So sometimes I go to Smith's for one particular
It's just a
item.
couple more steps that you need to get in anyway.
Right. And then I need my 10,000 steps. So it's like multitasking is my whole thing. But like today I went today on the way home. I didn't necessarily need any food or the milk. I just saw on the app, and I'm a procrastinator through and through. So I just saw like a couple of those bonus gift cards were expiring today. So I'm like, I'll go get them now. If not, I'll wait till tonight and then I won't get them. So I stopped in to get the bonus coupons, did my clearance walk, and that's how I found. It took me an extra 3 minutes to walk through the store to do a little loop to get my cookies and milk, and then so I was in and out of the store within 10 minutes.
You really are Santa Claus, aren't you?
Yes. And the best thing about Smith's too is they have self-checkout. I don't know, what's your feeling on self-checkout? I feel like a lot of people hate it. I know. Have we?
I love self-checkout because then I can buy all the treats and not get judged. Here's another tangent. I got hardcore judged when I was at Holiday the other night. I don't know what. Because I was buying a lot of snacks. My wife told me to go and get her a fountain drink. Okay, so I get that. And then I see that there is this Hershey's shake thing that I've been eyeballing for the last couple months. Finally decided to try that. And My daughter has been asking for cotton candy, so I went and got her some cotton candy. And as I passed the cotton candy, I saw some cookies that I wanted, and I got some waters. So I had a lot of stuff, okay? But it all had a purpose. So I take it up to the cashier. She says, "Wow, it's a really snacky night, isn't it?" What the heck, man? Like, I want to go put some of this away now.
She's like, "Oh,
So I just,
what gummies or brownies are you eating tonight, Brandon? Or did
oh
you
yeah, I got
have
some
earlier?"
gummies too. I got some gummy bears because they're gummy bears that my wife likes. So yeah, I did get a lot of treats, okay? And that's just what I do sometimes. Sometimes we like to. And felt like I had to explain to the cashier the reasoning for each thing I was buying. Like,
You're like, "This isn't all for me."
this is all
Okay,
for me.
90% of it's for me.
That's why I like self checkout is because there's no option for judgment unless you mess up, and then they have to come over and see what all the stuff you're buying. Not like I'm buying weird stuff. I get a lot of treats, and I don't like to be judged.
I can get on board with that. I just love self checkout primarily for it's just quicker. I feel like it's quicker. It's rare. If we do go to the store, Smith's in particular, and we have like a whole grocery cart full of stuff, then I'll go through the regular checkout aisle
Right.
because it's just a pain in the butt to try to bag everything. But most of the time I'm going in there, it's like I usually even grab that really small cart, which I hate because like I kick my shin on the bottom bar all the time because it's not there on the other carts.
Right.
But it's yeah. So self checkout goes faster. You don't have to do that weird, awkward small talk. But it is what it is. I just like self checkout. Have you noticed Maverick going to gas station things? Maverick even has a self checkout now,
Yeah.
which has been
We'll
great.
talk about that in our Maverick episode.
Yes, we will eventually talk about that in Maverick, but don't ever stay on subject. So it doesn't matter. You always say, we already talked about this.
I listened to the Office Ladies podcast, and they always talk about how on the show they have a show Bible that keeps track of everything they've said so they don't contradict something. Of course, things get missed, but I don't have a show Bible for this, but I do remember the weird little conversations we've had from time to time. And sometimes I hear something and I'm like, I feel like we've talked about this before.
Well, here's the problem.
It hasn't been on the podcast, or has it been just us preparing for the podcast or
Right.
the gym or whatever else?
That's what I was going to say is that we obviously hang out a lot more outside of the podcast, especially now that we're getting like, totally buff, going to the gym and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So I never know, like, did we talk about this on the podcast or outside of the podcast? So
It's better. That's why it's better. We just don't talk. When we go places together, we just don't talk to each other.
Just
we
do.
just save it all for the format.
I finally watched Little Miss Sunshine on Sunday. I've
Oh,
never
yeah?
seen it before. So we can be like that kid and just not talk for how many days? And write
Yeah.
everything
And then
down.
realize you're colorblind and your whole existence is destroyed. Back to Smith's.
Back to Smith's.
Why
So,
don't we give a rundown of what Smith's is and where it came from? Because
oh my goodness, we haven't given the history.
we haven't even given the history, and we are
Well, we were a little
54
concerned. I'll
minutes
be
into
honest
this
with you.
conversation.
I was concerned about doing this because we try to stay true the most that we can. And I feel like we've done a good job of it, of trying to stay to Utah companies. And I know that Smith's is owned by Kroger, which is a national brand, but
They weren't always.
they weren't always. And you want to give a rundown of the history of a Smith's?
You bet. So Lorenzo Smith opened a small dry goods grocery store in Brigham City, Utah in 1911. So that makes Smith's 111 years old.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? The family business in 1932 was named Smith and Sons Market. 1952, after refurbishing and expansion, the original stores reopened as Smith's Supermarket. 1969, Smith's acquires its first non-food business, the Utah-based Salval Brothers. In 1980, having diversified its range of products and services, the company begins using the slogan, "We're not just a food store anymore." In 1989, Smith's Food and Drug Centers makes an initial public offering. That's crazy. I didn't know they did that. 1997, Smith's is acquired by Portland, Oregon-based Fred Meyer. And then in 1999, Smith's parent company, Fred Meyer, is acquired by Kroger Company. So that's where we have Smith's now owned by Kroger. And when I see the Smiths commercials, the one we quoted at the beginning about the low deals, sales, whatever, I knew that was not put on by Smiths. You didn't have to tell me that. I could see that that wasn't a Utah company making a commercial. And it's confirmed. If you go on YouTube, search for the same one, you're going to see they just switch out the Kroger logo and they switch it to Smiths. So there you have it.
But I'm pretty sure though, if you go outside of Utah and it's either Rouse or Kroger are the two ones I think I've been to in the past, your rewards number or whatever still works there and it still
really?
counts towards your points. I'm pretty confident that's true.
I'm sure
So,
that I'm sure there's overlap with the Kroger.
so
for
that's
sure.
good news. So when you head on over to California, you go to your Disneyland
Yeah.
and you go to Kroger to get your snacks, you can still use your reward. Oh, actually, if you don't, you probably don't even have. Do you, Brandon? Tell the truth. Do you have a
I
Smith's
have
reward?
it. I
Okay.
have a rewards. Come on.
Okay.
Get out of
Okay.
here.
I was gonna
I
say,
even
if
have
not,
the app.
Brandon, you could be retired by now if you would just do what I do. So I'm hoping somebody outside of Brandon who's just too lazy to has benefited from this episode, and now they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's like the best idea I've ever heard. Free money, which Brandon doesn't like. He likes to earn his money and spend it just the
I
same.
like to work hard for my money.
He likes to work for the weekend because everybody's working for the weekend. Yeah, so I hope somebody got some good advice. Like I said, it's really not a whole lot of effort to do the simple thing of the gas bonus points with the gift cards. So just do it.
I feel like you're trying to wrap up the episode, but there's one big thing we have to talk about. We have to talk about the Visa fiasco.
I don't remember what happened with that.
All right, so in early April 2019, Smith's Food and Drug stopped accepting Visa credit cards, describing the fees as excessive.
But it worked, right? Because Visa give in?
I don't think so. I don't know if it was Visa that gave in or Smiths gave up because it only went until October. I stopped going to Smiths because of the Visa ban.
It took Visa debit, but not credit, right?
Right, because the thing is, with credit cards, sure we get nice rewards from them, cash back, travel stuff, but that gets pushed onto the wherever you're
Vendor.
using it, the vendor, right? Because they have different tiers. That's why some places don't take American Express because the fees are just too high, so they just say
Right.
no American Express, and that's more standard. But if you're saying no Visa, everybody has a Visa of some sort. I think it's the most common card. So even if it's just not your debit card, but I have 3 Visa credit cards. And so them saying no Visa credit cards. I mean, I don't this is my money thing. I don't spend any money from my debit card or my account. All my money gets spent on my credit card. And then I just pay it off.
Your debit card or your checking account, right?
Yeah. And so them saying no more Visa rewards for you, I stopped going there.
I can
And
see
so
that.
maybe I should look into it a little bit more, but I think Smiths took a hit because of it, and that's why they brought it back. Maybe they were able to negotiate a better deal with Visa, but I doubt it.
I thought I'm not 100% sure, but Smith's also has like Smith's Visa debit card you can get that they just link up with. Same thing like Target does the same thing, right? Where you can get a Target debit card that just links up to your checking account, and then Smith's has one too. And I got the Smith's debit card one thinking because the promotion says you get double the points when you spend money there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was using it for a while, and then I'm like, I'm not getting double points. And I read the fine print. I think you have to spend something like $100 or more to get the double points, and it can't be on gift cards either. It has to be like on their products. I'm like, I next to never spend like $100 there in one trip. So I went back to using my Discover card, which gives me the better reward points like you're talking about. So anyways, but if I ever spend over $100 there, then yeah, I'll use the Smith's card.
Well, maybe I should get that because I think Smith's is our main grocery go-to these days.
Is
Used to
it?
be Winco, but it's just too out of the way. And
Right.
like you said, we've got like 12 Smiths within our 5 mile radius. There's one pretty close to us, and we have been using the pickup lately, which is actually
Yeah.
really nice.
Right now, I don't know if you have that coupon, but I think I saw in their thing that if you do like a $75 order pickup, you get like a $500 gas bonus point. So you might want to see if that's in your app or not. But I never do the pickup though, because like I said, I don't know. I probably should do it. At
It's
least,
convenient for us when we actually have time to think about groceries. To just, late at night when you're thinking about like, oh, we need to go to the store, you can just put your order in, schedule a pickup time, and then you just let them know right before you head out that you're on your way, and they get it ready, and then you send them another, you hit it again and say that you're here in whatever spot you're in.
do you
So
feel like you have to tip the person who brings it out?
I have never tipped them. Am I supposed to?
I don't know. We need to have an episode just on tipping, and we need to get people's feedback on tipping. I feel like we talked about this before, but I just get so confused on the tipping game. So
I'm getting more
confused.
and more annoyed with tipping as time goes on.
Like even like fast food restaurants, it drives me nuts. It's like, or even like Papa John's now. You go to Papa John's and you do the carry out to get the carry out deal, and then on the thing it's like tip. I'm like, I had to come pick it up. Domino's is giving you $3 if you come pick up the pizza. Why am anyways? So I I get the tipping thing for the restaurants and the waiters and stuff like that, but I don't get it for the other places. So if anybody has any feedback or comments on that, let me know. But like I think I told you the story in the haircut episode, right? Where I didn't know you're supposed to when I was younger,
Right.
when I was paying for haircuts myself for the first time being an adult. I didn't know we were supposed to tip them too. I just get so confused. Like I just want the price, even to be honest with you, a regular restaurant, I'd rather than just build it into the price
Agreed.
and then we just go with it. Just done with the tipping game.
It's just cheap on the restaurant, honestly, for them to say, we're going to keep prices low. You just give them extra. We're not going to pay them. Just you pay them.
But I feel I can't remember. Might be somewhere in Europe or something that they don't tip and things are just fine. But yeah. I don't know how we're talking about tipping and Smiths, but
I think we've done Smith's justice.
yeah. And then actually, I don't think he does it anymore. Did you ever go to the Smiths? I think he was at the Smiths, I want to say the 90th and Bangor Smiths. And then he moved out to Smith Marketplace, but I think he's moved on since there. But there was a guy that would play the trumpet. If you told him it was your birthday, he'd pull out his trumpet and play.
Oh, wow.
We should got him on this episode, but too late now.
Yeah, and you even brought up there's normal Smiths and there's Smith Marketplace. There's two. The Smith
Yeah.
Marketplace has clothes and other things, and sometimes they have a Fred Meyer jeweler inside.
Right. Well, when Fred Meyer and Smith's merged, wherever you read about, I feel like a lot of the Fred Meyers turned into Smith Marketplace, and those ones, them ones would have like electronics because that's what Fred Meyers had. So I think there's the one downtown and the one on 90th and Redwood still have like an electronics section, but the other marketplaces have just gone to like a little bit of clothing and sporting goods and toys and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's not
I
like
think the one by me it only has clothes. The only thing I'm disappointed about this is we're a pretty big podcast, right? We're pretty famous.
we're Utah famous.
I'm sad that we're doing this podcast and we're not sponsored by Smiths because Smiths I hear ads for Smiths quite a bit. They're not only in Utah, granted. They've got Nevada, Arizona, this kind of desert Midwest region, whatever you would call it. This is kind of just a call to Smiths. We've talked extensively, given you this free
Marketing, advertising.
this free sample of what it would look like having us as a podcast she sponsors. So we're happy accepting proposals now.
Sure will. I guess I have one gripe about Smiths right
Uh-oh.
now.
After I make the sales pitch.
But I feel like for the last 2-3 years, when any major holiday was coming up, your candy holidays, you got your Christmas, Easter, Halloween, a week or two before that given holiday, they would do a weekend of half off that holiday candy. And I think around Christmas time, because inflation's gone crazy, and I get it, they did something like 30% off their candy, but I haven't seen it come back since. So like it didn't come back for Valentine's Day, for Easter. I just wonder if, like I said, and I get it, and maybe it's just because of supply chain and, like I said, inflation, and they just can't do it right now. But fingers crossed they bring it back, because man, we would stock up like crazy when they would do those sales.
They go through their candy too. Last time I went right before Easter, it was sparse.
Yeah. I think a lot of stores, for the most part, it's kind of been interesting going to grocery stores this last month or two, or I say even the last almost year, and just seeing the empty shelves. It's been weird. But then one place, like you'll hear people crying about there's no milk or shortage of milk or eggs. And you go to one Smith's and they're out. The next one just has a ton of them. I feel like the Smith's by your house, that marketplace one out there, does really good on stocking their shelves, and especially the sales items that they know are going to be big. They do a really good job at keeping that stuff in stock. Because like I said, I procrastinate and always wait till the day before it goes off sale, and sometimes the good items are gone. But yeah, so Smith's, like you said, is my go-to grocery store. I've kind of rotated in Macy's a little bit, because I said I think they're kind of trying to copy the same marketing style as Smith's lately. But those are, Smith's is usually number one, and then Macy's is usually the backup. And then when I want to go check on the money laundering business, I go to Reams. What are we talking about today? How does Reams stay in business?
We'll get to Reams. We'll get to Reams.
We need to do a whole episode on Reams, but how do they stay in business? I don't get it. We need to figure that place out. Yeah, there was a shopping center right by my house growing up, and there was multiple grocery stores that came and went because they just couldn't make it go there, fly. This didn't, work. But Reams has been there for a long time, and I can't imagine that the foot traffic's gotten any better from the other grocery stores, but they seem to make it work.
I'll tell you why they're still in business in the Reams episode.
All right, so leave everybody on a little cliffhanger. We got to do that one, since I can see from out my window the flag for Reams, the big American flag they have. I can see out my kitchen window.
It is dwindling. Reams is dwindling
out in the distance. So
they've closed a couple within the last little bit.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It might be hey, remember this grocery store by the time we get to it?
It could be a Kroger restaurant
Kroger
store by then. Who knows?
But yeah, Smith's and Kroger, listen up. We'd love to be sponsored.
And hurry up before Reams.
Just don't listen to that last couple minutes.
Yeah. Or Reams might come and be our sponsor.
Yeah.
Or we could be
canceled.
We figured them out.
Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
See you next week.